Any tips for people around how to stay disciplined with your saving and investing and doing that over a number of years?
Just try to keep it simple, I think. I think if you can, what worked for me was like the S&P 500 and things like that. Again, it was out of my bank account. I didn't have a whole lot of cash, like most of my cash, apart from just like day-to-day spending, the rest of it just went into the S&P. Just because it's too accessible, I think, in your bank account. And then, I've been good and bad at that, right? Like there's been periods of time where my budget's just gone completely out the window on some weeks and some months and things like that. So my partner's been super helpful in kind of bringing me back on track with things like that. She's a great saver. So she's like got it down to a T, numbers, spreadsheets, things like that.
Awesome.
So that's helped a lot as well. Just trying to.
You both don't struggle having conversations around money, obviously?
No, not necessarily, I think. We're pretty open with each other. I feel like you kind of have to be when you're going into a mortgage or something like that. And the goal's been there for a long time. So we just kind of came to that conclusion, and then there was always discussions about it. So just trying to make sure that we're always on always on track, always reviewing it. We'd speak about it like every week leading up to it, every month. So there was always conversations about it. I feel like the more you talk about it, the better that is to keep on track. I think that's also another thing I put down here when it comes to the podcast and things like that is actually just listening to like financial content in general does help to keep you on track.
Yeah.
So tuning into the podcast and just hearing like Kiwi guys talk about it just kind of helps to keep your mind on that same path. Because it's pretty easy to start consuming content that's just like rubbish, right?
Yeah.
And then you just start to deter off, and next minute you're ticking up a Ford Ranger or something. So just try to.
It's not even a joke. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's always helpful as well, just to check in every so often, and then just keep yourself on track that way.
Yeah, just be careful what you're consuming. Yeah, nice. I guess we should point out, because some people probably might be learning about the S&P 500 for the first time and saving into that. Not that you're giving financial advice, but people need to be aware that stock markets can fluctuate, and you've probably had a pretty good run of saving into it, like you said before, right, where it was kind of up and to the right consistently. But people need to be aware if they're going to save into the share market for a event that is coming up, then you run the risk that you have a drawdown or a crash, or like what we saw with the pandemic and stuff, and all of a sudden 20% of your savings can be wiped out. And if you don't understand that, then it can be a pretty crazy place. And we saw that with people, moving their KiwiSavers when the markets tanked without really understanding what was going on, logging in and seeing that their KiwiSaver had tanked, and they're like, right, I need to move this to cash or protect it. And then some of them have missed, the run back up as the markets have recovered.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
But that's how we learn this stuff too, right? And then getting around the financial content.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.